That was absolutely fascinating, wasn't it? Thank you. And it made me happy and excited to be working in such a fast-moving industry. And I agree, the smartphone is over. So morning. Thank you so much for being here, listening to me. I'm going to talk you through from AI from hype to hands-on. I've only got 10 minutes to talk about the greatest technology that humanity has ever faced, so wish me luck. But what I really wanted to do is give you some practical applications. I think I love working in AI because you can't talk about it without talking about philosophy or the future of society. But I think what we really need right now is real-world ways to put it into our lives. So that's what I'm going to try and offer you, probably in about 9 minutes now. So just to give you a bit of an overview of where we're at, like AI is here. We could argue about, what AI actually means from generative to all sorts, whether it, should be replacing certain jobs or not, be absolutely terrified about what it means for our workplace, but it really doesn't matter. It's here right now. And I think the question is whether we drown in it or we learn to swim. And I don't think it has to be as scary as we're kind of all thinking, really. I just wanted to show you a graph, just to give you a bit of an idea. If you're feeling overwhelmed about AI, you're not the only one. Moore's law told us that technology should double every 2 years. And in the last 10 years, we've evolved AI by about 1 million times. Really, the sheer pace of evolution has never been seen before in the history of humanity. And just to put that into perspective, if we had advanced air travel at the same rate as large language models, the average flight speed would have gone from 600 miles per hour in 2018 to 900,000 miles per hour, which means it would take just 19 seconds to get from London to New York right now. So no wonder we're feeling overwhelmed. I go into a lot of businesses as a consultant. I'll tell you a bit more about what I do. And I often find, it'll be the intern that has found a cheeky way to use AI for the business rather than the boss. And I'm really trying to encourage businesses to favour those people rather than condemn them for kind of cheating. But yeah, it's not surprising that we're all a bit scared, essentially. And also this data was from GPT-3, so we can only kind of imagine what that means now. We really are in the fourth industrial revolution. We had the printing press, totally changed our relationship with how we consume our media. Then we had the iPhone. It was more powerful than the first computers that sent astronauts to space. And then we had AI. And as I said, it's really incomparable to any technology that came before. I think it was Sergey Brin at Google I/O this year that said this is the first time that we've had engineers working on a technology and we're not actually sure where it's going. Like, we can't 100% predict. Which is exciting and terrifying. And I do find that AI evokes quite strong emotions from people. Sometimes people will pay me to come into their businesses just to tell me how much they hate AI. So, it really does evoke emotion. I often say it might not be coming for your job. I feel like AI really has this mirage-like quality at the moment. A lot of people think it feels kind of like magic. And I don't think it's necessarily going to replace you, but I do think that somebody who knows how to use AI might. I heard this phrase the other day, which I absolutely loved, which was AI is like teenage sex, because everybody thinks everybody else is doing it. And I think this is that kind of mirage stage that we're at right now. I'm sure you weren't expecting that from my talk about AI. Sorry. Yeah. So that's all very well. We know the state of technology right now, but who am I to tell you about it? I've worked in AI for a very long time, 2016, so super long time ago. It was very difficult to explain the concept of artificial intelligence to my friends or family. And I came at it from a very unusual background. I was a writer, script writer and a broadcaster, and I needed a job. I applied on LinkedIn for a copywriting job at Microsoft, and it turned out to be writing the personality of Cortana, which was Microsoft's very first AI personal assistant. And I just became obsessed with the relationship between humans and machines, what we wanted from them, things like that. And then Google headhunted me, and I shaped the personality of the Google Assistant when we launched in the UK. So if you ever asked, you remember those smart speakers, the speaker, if it liked the Spice Girls or grime music, that would have been me. And then most recently at Meta, which was so exciting because I got to work on AI as it was becoming generative and looking at the relationship between AI and social media and thinking about how people wanted to use AI to express themselves online. And my job has really evolved. I think I was having a conversation yesterday with my business partner about AI, and we're trying to pin the tail on the donkey, but the donkey keeps moving, which makes it so exciting. But yeah, my job has just evolved so much from becoming a prompt engineer at Meta, so really training a model, to writing very, very simple one-shot answers at Google. And in Microsoft, I was actually going into the code and writing. So I just can't wait to see where it goes next. I mentioned AI is like a bit like magic sometimes, and I'm sure we've all felt like that sometimes, maybe when you've generated a picture on Midjourney, or even when AI has served you a meme on Instagram at the exact right time when you happen to be thinking about something. And I think that Arthur C. Clarke said that any sufficiently advanced technology feels like magic, and we really are in that era at the moment. It's funny though, because I've also been in those meetings at work where we'll look at the data from young people using AI, and they're frustrated that it can't do the things that they grew up watching in sci-fi films. So it's a really funny kind of breadth that we're in. But I've got some predictions for what's coming next. That's me and my robot hanging out. Don't worry about it. We heard about agents earlier, and really what is that? It's AI that can go out and act on your behalf for you, that can make decisions, and really thinking about them as co-workers. I often say that we're going from chatbots to colleagues. We're all kind of using AI at the moment for all different kind of things. I know a lot of my friends are using it, as a therapist. But now we're actually going to be able to brief our team members to go out and do stuff for us. And it's really exciting. And that's what I do in my consultancy now. So I left Meta a few months ago, and I go into business and help them not only integrate AI into their workflows, but actually make agents to get things done. So some examples might be, I often say, imagine if your sales team had a sales team. So you can set off an agent to go and research who are the hot leads on LinkedIn. Then you can get it to kind of write a summary of what you want to send them, and get it to send it out on your behalf. So we are in the future, really. Here's some ways that I use it, just in my personal and professional life, just to give you a bit of an idea. This is a super simple customized GPT. Have any of you made these? Yeah. So it's really just a pre-prompted large language model that you can do on ChatGPT. And this is my social media agent. So I run my own business. I do a lot of speaking. And obviously posting online is super, super important. So I've trained a large language model in my own tone of voice. So I transcribed all of my social media copy and trained it to be able to not only generate ideas for what I should post about, but also write my captions and even my scripts in my own tone of voice. This is Glance. It's Georgia Lewis Anderson's news condensing engine. It started life similarly as a customized GPT, and now it's become an agent. I mentioned how fast AI is evolving. Sometimes it's really difficult to keep up with the AI news, even for an AI consultant. So I have an AI to read my newsletters for me. I've prompted it to pick up my most interesting news stories, which for me is like human interest, to only read my favorite newsletters that I trust. Then it turns it into a summary, then a script in my own tone of voice. And what I'm working on at the moment is getting it to post on social media for me as my AI avatar, so I don't even need to record it. And then maybe I could make it in different moods at different time of the month. I'm kind of experimenting with that at the moment. And this is my affirmation capture. I made it on Replit, so it's vibe coding. So it really means that the barrier to entry to make products is democratized dramatically. I'm not from an engineering background, although I've worked in big tech for a very, very long time. But now we can actually code products using human language. This is affirmation capture. So I might say, hey, I'm doing a talk at the Ivy this morning and I'm feeling a little bit nervous. And it uses all the memory that it has about me to generate an affirmation. Sounds good. And then I linked it up to 11 Labs, which is a voice cloning platform, so I can actually hear the affirmation in my own tone of voice. So it's based on the idea that you can always kind of give people great advice, but you can't always give it to yourself. And the idea of kind of like high-fiving yourself in the mirror, which we love. And I also use it to speak other languages. I hope I can play this. This was when I was doing a talk in Germany. Oh, no? Sorry. Can I play it? Sorry. Okay. Ja.
Toll, hier zu sein. Schade, dass die echte Georgia nicht ganz so schlau und perfekt ist wie ich, ihre KI-Version. Aber sie gibt ihr Bestes.
That was me speaking German. It sounds quite good, doesn't it? Yeah, and that was me saying, sorry that the real me isn't as perfect as AI me, but she tries her best. Yeah, it's really simple. I use Hey Jen. It's quite amazing when you think about what it means in terms of like understanding each other. Like, you know, I was talking to a friend of mine whose mother-in-law doesn't speak English about the capabilities that are coming down the line about, you know, having in-ear translation, which is just really fantastic and amazing. Okay, so what's coming next? Well, of course we don't know, but I think it's agentic. I think really, I truly believe in the power of personalization and customization. I think those are the biggest wins in terms of AI by far, as I've demonstrated in just a few of the projects that I'm working on in my personal life all the time using AI. I really believe that any kind of AI consultancy comes down to purpose first. That's what I base my whole consultancy on. I think we've seen how fast these softwares are moving, and if we kind of link ourselves to one software or product, we're only going to get in hot water. Really, when I go into businesses, I tell them, let's think about the problem and backwards engineer it to get there. Often people just want to sprinkle AI on something because, you know, they think everybody else is doing it. But yeah, I really believe in thinking about the solution and then finding the technology afterwards. So what are the skills to cultivate? Are any of you scared about AI coming for your jobs? A little bit? Yeah, it's scary. Yeah. I think that, you know, having an opinion is going to be one of the most brilliant things. If we can get machines to come up with millions of ideas for us, it's going to be up to us to decide what we want to spend those 1 million seconds on. I think having taste is also going to be crucial when we can kind of generate so much AI slop, if you will. And I also think critical thinking, questioning the results of what the machine said. We kind of heard a nod to hallucinations then, but I saw that study from MIT a few weeks ago which said it's going to make us all lazier, but I actually don't think that's true. I think people who are using critical thinking right now in the AI space are the ones that are going to succeed. All the most exciting AI products that are getting made are people thinking about how to combine things, and it's really exciting to see.